Hey guys, welcome back. This is week 2. Thanks again to everybody that's been coming to the classes and for everybody that was doing the video homework as well. Still working on making sure everybody's confirming so that we can assure that when the emails go out, we're able to see them. You have the whole week to work on them, especially the weekends, because I know schoolwork and obligations and everything outside of the dance studio. But I do appreciate you making the efforts to come to class, as well as showing me that you guys are really taking the technique to the next level. Yesterday in class, we actually did some different kind of drills, mainly centered around teaching the kids how to take the base moves that we teach them and how to take them into a performance type form, meaning coming out of the picture. For example, we'd have a student stand up, do a scenario type dance situation. For example, it might be you're trapped in a room and you have to find your way out. Basic pantomime type drills, but with the same dancing technique, so that they're having to use those dance moves to articulate something more than just repeating the same moves over and over again, because these drills here help with the technique for the hits and the foundation of popping. But drills such as, oh, my body's made of water, teaches the kids how to take those moves to the next level, so that when they're dancing, they're not always thinking they have to only do these moves one way. And that's where this week's drill comes in. And pretty much what we're going to start working on is really articulating our waves. And how we do that is I have a very basic layout, it's 10 parts to it, for the kids to follow. And I'll have them either hold their hands here or here, which is more comfortable. And as you can see, my arms are kind of in a C shape. Notice that the elbow is slightly bent, but if that's kind of complicated, then I would suggest just doing it in the regular T shape. And what I have them do is go straight from left to right, and when they do a move, for example, they would say it out loud. So for this particular wave technique, we go fingertips, and then my fingertips come up, knuckles, because I curve to my knuckles, wrists, as you can see, because I push the wrist up. And here's the part that most kids get stuck on. When I go to elbow, I want to push my hand forward so that it's back on that line. And as you can see, my elbow is bending backwards slightly, but when you see it kind of in a planar view, it looks like the elbow itself is lifting up. It bends and lifts up. Then shoulder. When I do the shoulder, my shoulder pushes up like I'm holding a phone. Okay? So I'm going to start over with this arm. We have fingers, fingertips come up. Knuckles, we're going to curve almost like we're about to turn a motorcycle gear. Wrists, I push my wrist up, my hand is pointing down this way. Then elbow, I'm going to push my hand flat, and as you see when I do that, my elbow comes up. That elbow coming up creates the second part of this wave here, so the shoulder. And when I do the shoulder, I'm pushing the shoulder up like I'm holding the phone. All right, and that's the entry part of the wave. Now the exit part of the wave is I'm going to do everything in reverse. I'm going to switch. So I'm going to go shoulder, shoulder, and then I'm going to go elbow. And as I do that again, once again, the elbow is coming up. So I have the shoulders up, and then the elbow comes up, and it pretty much continues from this arm to this arm, elbow, then wrist. And once again, when I do that wrist, I'm pushing just the wrist up, my hand is pointing downward, then knuckles and fingertips out. All right? So in completion, the wave itself will go fingertip, knuckle, wrist, elbow, shoulder, other shoulder, elbow, wrist, knuckle, fingertip. It's something that has to be done slowly and repetitively, because when I learned this move, I sat for a week in front of the mirror just working on all of those different parts of the wave, because as you isolate each single part of the wave, you're learning not only the muscle control, but also the tempo and technique it takes to make your wave go from looking like this to looking more fluid like that. You can make it bigger. You can change levels with it. You can do all kinds of things. But those small isolations for the waves are what create the dimensional effect, I guess, is the best way to put it, because it looks like you no longer have bones when you do stuff like this. And especially since I've seen a lot of the kids, they're really trying to articulate their waving technique. So I figured this would be a good time, better than any, to show them this breakdown. So once again, have them do it slowly, and as they do it, have them say the parts of the wave that they are doing every single time. excuse me, because this way, if they're doing the wave and they're saying the parts, chances are they won't miss any. Because if I'm just doing the wave and I'm just going like this, I could miss a piece. But if I'm having to say fingertip, knuckle, wrist, elbow, shoulder, shoulder, elbow, wrist, knuckles, wrist, knuckles, fingertips, sorry, that is what will happen. They will say each part as it comes out, okay? And that's what this drill is about. And as they start getting used to doing that, they'll be able to start going backward, where they can go from the right to the left and then from left to the right. Because it's pretty much the same thing, just done different directions. The fingertip, knuckle, wrist, elbow, shoulder here is the same as the fingertip, knuckle, wrist, elbow, shoulder on this side. So once again, that's this week's drill, is we're going to work on just going slowly. And I mean slowly, I mean you can go as slow as fingertip, knuckle, wrist, elbow, shoulder, shoulder, elbow, wrist, knuckles, fingertips. Just as slow as that. It doesn't have to be professional style, super mega quick wave. We'll get to that point as we progress through our classes. But once again, if you are able to film a video of the kids doing that, perfect. If not, when they come into class, I will ask them to perform the wave as well as the other drills that we've been working on. And don't forget to review your hits. In those hits, when we worked on before, you got 1, 2, 3, 4. Because the more they do that, the more they'll become accustomed to sharpening and making those hits really crispy and apparent. All right, so main drill for this week is going to be working on the wave. And then your secondary drill for this week is to continue working on those hits when you get a chance to. All right? Thanks again for coming down to the classes at Rockwell Dance Academy. It's Fyrefli, and I'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.